The third-ranked Sentinels have their eyes on the prize. The third-ranked volleyball team hasn't lost a match or a set in nearly a month. They open up the 3A playoffs right here on home court, taking on Bases Phoenix. There's serves and spikes from Ray and Dobson Road coming up right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno. So glad you can join us. John Engelbert's team is flat out rolling. They have won 10 straight. In that time, they haven't dropped a set. You name it, this team can do it. Owen McElvey, Diego Kubisak, Jackson Heim, Brady Pritchard, and Lucas Senerka, the setting extraordinaire. They can do it all, and they are flat out rolling. They believe they can win it all. In the first round, right here on home court, they welcome in league rival Bases Phoenix, a squad they swept in the regular season. We'll have the starting lineups and serves and spikes from Ray and Dobson Road coming up right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Phoenix team led by coach Georgia Brooks. Firebirds with only 13 matches. They lost 5 of the last 7. Last time on May 1st, they took a 3-2 loss to Horizon Honors. Statistically for Seton, Owen McElvey, team high 147 kills, also team high 29 blocks. Lucas Senerka, team high 127 digs. Robert Burns, second with 118. Burns also a team high with 23 aces. Also some postseason awards have just come out for the region. Defensive Player of the Year, Brady Pritchard. And we'll talk more about Brady, and Brady was flat out dazzling statistically this year. When we think about a libero and him stepping up in that role and doing a tremendous job. 182 digs, a team high. So he was the defensive player of the year in the region, the offensive player of the year, or another region player of the year, Owen McElvey. And we talked about Owen last year working his way up from junior varsity and now really blossoming and earning that honor. Coach of the year, John Engelberg. John, a coach of the year with Seton Catholic, and was named the coach of the year in the region. And the first teamers for Seton in the region, Diego Kupisak, Brock Steele, as well as Jackson Heim, all rightfully so. Three big power hitters, Kupisak and Steele on the outside, Heim right in the middle. And he's been dominant for us since he transferred from St. Mary's. Setter's first team, Lucas Sonerka. Would you expect anything different with the amount of assists he has on the year? He's been flat out dominating in the ball handling category with 325 assists. Honorable mention, Bennett Laragoida. And the great Karen Self has just walked right in to the gym. Of course, Karen this year has become Arizona's all-time winningest girls basketball coach and just continues on trucking on. Another honorable mention is Jackson Howe, who has stepped up in his playing time this year. So this Seton team with a slew of seniors, with the big strong run in 4A last year. Now they're looking to make a run deep into 3A. So we've kind of broken it down statistically. We've talked about the postseason awards when we look at the 3A Metro Conference. Seton, a perfect 6-0, 24-7. Cicero Prep Academy, 4-2. Second place, 11-5. Horizon Honors, 4-2, 10-14. Scottsdale Christian, 4-2, 9-6. Basis Phoenix, 3-4, only 6-7. Madison Highland Prep, 1-6, 7-15. And Basis Flagstaff, 1-7, 2-9 overall. We're going to take a timeout for the school prayer, the national anthem, then we'll get the starting lineups. And former Seton coach Andrew Guthrie will join me for the first set. And in the second set, young man who you know wishes he was on the floor, that's Cole Erwiller, the senior libero. And he is decked out, he's got his boot on, and he's ready to do his thing. So a short timeout from Seton while Autumn is getting the microphone ready to give out the school prayer and the national anthem, and more to come. We're just minutes away from the opening set from Seton Catholic.
Set forward by their associations to maintain high standards of conduct, competition, and relations with fellow students. At this time, please rise and remove your hats as we begin our contest with prayer and national anthem. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, thank you for the many opportunities you have given us. Thank you for this time to gather in the spirit of competition. Please help these athletes and officials perform to the best of their abilities and keep them free from injury. Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, pray for us. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Number 3, Brendan Bang. Number 12, Michael Hervey. Number 14, Pragyan Varma.
So we are locked and loaded, and I've got some headgear on,
15,
courtesy of Brady Pritchard, because I am in touch with my dojo side. I am in touch with Mr. Miyagi and Daniel's son. Only Brady Pritchard in Brady Pritchard style. And at some point, Paulo Hutchins is going to get the shot on me with the Brady Pritchard headband on. I said I was going to wear it. And in the parking lot, there it is. I got that's the back look. I'll give you the front look. Boom. There it is. Right here. I told you I was going to wear it. And here it is. Rocking the headband. That's what we do here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. We live large, we live big, and we live for our student athletes. They're introducing Seton as we speak. Robert Burns, number 1. Number 2, Dominic Sierka. Number 7, Diego Kubisak. Number 8, Bennett Lourgoida. Number 11, Owen McElvey. Number 12, Jackson Heim. Number 19, Lucas Sonerka. And number 22, Brady Pritchard. And that's going to be kind of your starters. Brock Steele will not be playing in this one. He's in the state track meet. And on the other side for the Firebirds, it's going to be a combination. They only have 9 players, so it's going to be a combination of Brendan Bang, Michael Hervey, Ryan Verma, Pragyan Verma, Krish Bhakta, number 24, Abel DeWitt, number 31, Emmett Unger, number 32, Shrojan Pendirthia, and number 20, Sharish Prakash. So both teams are settled and situated. Your referees on the court, Mark Burnquin and Jim Van Wicklen. Mark Burnquin will be up top. This Seton team, so much to prove, 24-7. They feel they've got what it takes. And for them, it really comes down to, it's not the skill, it really comes down to the will and determination to bring the effort and energy at all times, stay focused, and rifle through. This is just a prelude. If they win this matchup, and right now, the veteran, Andrew Guthrie, the former Seton coach, is going to join me right now, and Andrew joins us. And Andrew, thank you for joining us for the first round of the 3A playoffs. And you've been in this situation before. Seton has had a week off, and this is a team they faced earlier this season. They won in 3 sets. And your thoughts for Seton trying to dust off the rust in this first round?
I mean, it's start over. It's one of those things that playoffs is different league and this kind of stuff. But you know, what you did earlier in the season doesn't matter quite as much now. It's one of those things of what you've been working on and show all those little things that you've been improving on. So hopefully we can keep it clean and play some flawless volleyball. And especially when you take on a team like Basis Phoenix, who's really got nothing to lose. Here they are, the 14th seed, Seton's the 3 seed. They got swept by Seton. On the other side for the Firebirds, how much motivation do they have coming in this first round? Oh, there's a lot to show what they've got. I mean, again, that's a fun place to be. And Jackson can jump out of the gym. He gets on top of that. Nobody's stopping that one.
So needless to say, it's a 2-0 Firebirds lead with number 14, Pragyan Verma on serve. Verma right into Brady Pritchard. Sonerka left side. And that's blasted. Kept alive by Pritchard. Battle in the middle. Pritchard. And the point will go for Seton. So right there, they answer the bell and get the side out, and now they go on serve for the first time. And Robert Burns, who you've had the opportunity to watch, who leads the team with 23 aces. What makes this young man so good at the service line?
His IQ. You know, he kind of picks a good spot to hit, finds the weak player to go after, and repeatedly will kind of keep hitting those spots. Does a really good job of just staying focused on that back line.
So this one tied at 2 with Burns back at the service line. Plenty of students here. We got plenty of parents as well. And as you kind of reflect back on the 2016 season, Coach, when you guys won the state title, and John, who was a player on your team at that time, now he's running the show. How is the young man as coach? Has he changed from being a player? And obviously, of course, time and the age has been a factor.
John has been amazing. It's one of those things of, even when he was a player, he was a student of the game and continues to be. And that's what you need when you want to become an elite level coach, where I think John is becoming. You know, continues to learn from the mistakes, this kind of stuff, and not ashamed to admit, when he makes mistakes, this kind of stuff, and ask for help. The biggest thing he wants is the guys to succeed. And if he's making a mistake, he'll rely on other coaches or other people and take those opinions. And again, that's what makes him really, really good. Is it's not his way or nothing. It's let's figure out what's the best way and learn and continue to learn and grow on the game.
And that is the mark of a good coach, is being open to advice at all times and listening to other opinions and inputs along the way. Seton goes up for the first time in this match, 4-3. And early on, bases Phoenix bringing the energy. And the Firebirds on serve with number 24, Abel DeWitt. No Brock Steele tonight. Brock is at a track meet, so Sentinels kind of with a mismatched lineup a little bit with Owen in the middle and Owen. And the Firebirds do a nice job keeping it alive in the back end. Sonorka sets it up left side. And that's right into the net. Gabe Keppel with a misfire on that left side.
Firebirds are doing a really good job with their block so far, and defensively just being in the right spot. They're not getting the prettiest touches defensively, but again, it's going up. The other guys are following, so they're keeping the ball in play.
And one thing we've seen from the Firebirds early on compared to the last time we saw them about a month or so ago is that they looked a little more polished. Obviously, they've only played, compared to Seton's played 31 matches. Firebirds have only played 13, Coach. So for a team that's only played 13 matches, they look a little more polished than last time they played. And one thing they do show on the court, they got some athleticism on their side. Big time.
I mean, their guys are getting up for sure. Now, they do look like they're still basketball players learning the game of volleyball. And I remember that, starting the program is, for the first 2 years, I had basketball players playing the game of volleyball. And by about the year 3, we finally had some guys that were both basketball and volleyball players. In basketball, you kind of go find the ball, you go up, you follow it. In volleyball, you got to kind of know your position, trust your players, get in the right spots. And so it is one of those things that basis looks like very athletic kids, this kind of stuff, still learning the game.
They are learning, but so far they're holding their own in this first set with a 6-5 advantage. And going back on serve is Sharif Prakash. Prakash fires it up. Brady sets it up. Sonorka and Diego with a purpose on that left side. And when we talk about Diego, a first-team all-performer, Coach, and when you watch Diego and you've had a chance to see him in his time, what makes him so special on the court?
Oh, man, his desire. He wants it so bad. He wants to be the guy. He works so hard at it all the time. It's one of those things that the middle set up so much for them with typically Owen and Jackson there pulling a lot of the middle blocks. And even Bennett's a solid middle. The team's been very fortunate with having that much depth in that position because it changes the games. When there's not two blockers out there all the time, it's a lot easier for those outsides and right sides.
So the Sentinels back on top, 7-6 with Owen McElvey going to serve. And here's a young man, Coach, that last year fought his way up from JV and has just blossomed this year. A region player of the year. And what does it say about a young man who's had to persevere through the JV ranks to work his way up and become such a force now in the varsity squad and to earn a region player of the year honor?
Oh, man, he was so much fun to watch the last couple of years, and the love of the game. He just wants to be in the gym. He just wants the opportunity. I think the biggest thing for him has been believing in what he is capable of. I think too often, he would show really good things in practice, just kind of very sparingly, but then he got more and more consistent, and he kind of believes he could be the guy and he could be the man. And those reps, again, there's nothing that takes away from getting in the gym and putting that time in.
He's also playing in the club circuit, getting all those extra reps, and When you play in the club circuit, Coach, and you get those extra reps, you're playing a league competition, and you start excelling at that level, what does that do for your confidence level coming back to the high school circuit?
It's massive. It's one of those things that the belief. Volleyball is one of those things of once it clicks and you start believing that you can, hit around 2 guys, hit around 3 guys, hit across anywhere you want to, it changes the entire game. And just playing at those high levels is just amazing for these guys. And the fact that more and more players from Seton are doing that is just going to continue with the success of the program.
Sentinels with a 10-7 advantage with Lucas Sonerka. And checking back in is Jackson Heim. Here's a young man who had to wait out, Coach, in the middle. Waited about 5 or 6 games, a transfer from St. Mary's. When this squad added Jackson Heim in the middle, how much did that change the program?
Oh, massive. He is legit. Major blocks, smart defender, can hit anything, loves it in the middle. He's going to get an opportunity today on the right side. But he's just a game changer. He's one of those guys that opens up the block for everybody else. And even if he's not getting the ball, you have to just know where he's at, because you don't want to be hit by his ball because it's coming in hot. So
Sentinels now feeling it with a 12-7 advantage. And Coach, in this situation for the Sentinels, obviously they're dusting off some rust. How important for them is it really to take care of Bases Phoenix quickly and emphatically, just to build confidence for the next round, potentially? And by no means are we saying it's in the bag, but I'm just saying for Seton is the favored one in this match.
It's always going to be the exact same. I mean, John comes from, me coaching for a long time, and we talk all the time is better is better. It's one of those things of every time we get out, we got to show where we're improving, what we're doing, how we're progressing, the next level. So to come out and be flat in the playoffs is a tough spot to be, but, right now, game's starting to go. This is where we'll see what Seton's really got, kind of that midway point. See what the last couple points are, if we can start cleaning up some stuff. There's been a lot of hitting into blocks, a lot of stuff off our block, a little bit of sloppy play here and there. I think there's been a couple doubles on both sides, so hopefully we start cleaning it up here and make that separation.
Abel DeWitt with the winner at the net. Now it's served up. Brady, Lucas Sonerka right side, and that is hammered by Jackson Heim, kept alive by the Firebirds. On the other end, soft touch, and it's going to be a violation against the Firebirds. 13-9 with Owen McElvey checking back in. Now it's Brady on serve. And here's another young man who's stepped up for the Sentinels and has really blossomed and turned into a dominant force, the defensive player of the year in the region.
I had the great opportunity to meet Brady as a freshman, and the best things I will say about him is, one, he was fearless. On top of that, he just wanted to get hit. He didn't care, and that is just such an amazing thing to find with libero. Somebody will stand in there, take the hardest shots, and ask for another one. And, as a freshman, coming through, I mean, it didn't matter what we threw at him. He was not going to back down, and he was going to show that he belonged. And he definitely does belong now. He brings so much energy and so much life to this team defensively.
Squad up now 15-9. Firebirds trying to sit up there outside. That's knocked over by DeWitt. Kubisak there off the rafters, kept alive. Owen will bump it over. And that's going to fall in right before the back line. So talk about perfect placement. The Sentinels now on a roll and a timeout on the floor. A little bit of a sluggish start, Coach, and now Sentinels seem to be finding their way.
We still need to clean up a little bit offensively for sure. I think it's they're still getting way too many block touches for the ability of these offensive guys. I think that needs to be mixed up. I think he's kind of predicting a little bit too much early. Lucas is with his hands and needs to kind of get that one-on-one. When he's got the one-on-one so far, Diego smashed it. The other guys have had, for the most part, two blocks on him. So needs to be cleaned up, needs to be sped up a little bit. But overall, it's not a bad start, kind of in this midway point, but that's going to be the determination, is can we continue with this?
big factor. Brock Steele not here. He's at the track meet, running track for Seton. Your thoughts of him not being here and what kind of impact that affects the rotation?
You know, I talked to John quite a bit this week about that and this kind of stuff. And the best thing about Seton is the opportunities. And Brock is a multi-sport athlete. And he came to John early in the week and discussed it and talked about it. And he did it because he cares. Now, what his reasons are in this kind of stuff, you know, I've not talked to him. I'm not sure. But I love the fact that he's got that opportunity. And, you know, he's going to go out there and do those things. I think too often we just kind of set aside of like, this player is just this kind of athlete. And the fact that he trusts his team to take care of the game without him, on top of the fact of he's going to go take care of something for himself and another team for Seton, I think that's great. Now, it is one of those things that, do you miss a player like Brock? 100%. I mean, he is a phenomenal athlete, amazing human being, just a positive light, always on the court and this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, these guys are fairly deep for a first round, and they should be able to take care of it with or without him. But I love the fact that John let that happen and trust his players to make the decisions. And, you know, that's a big part of being in life is, you know, what's the most important thing and, you know, where do you need to be? And, oh, what a swing. Great dig.
Firebirds keep it alive. Sonurka. Heim gets another opportunity. Blocked at the net by the Firebirds. Keppel is there. Firebirds back on offense. They bump it over. Diego. Owen. Firebirds playing with a purpose. Keppel will keep it in the middle. And that's the point by the Firebirds. And the Firebirds showing some resiliency on that point.
Beautiful defense on the right side. Again, you know, you got to kind of start realizing where their best defender is, and apparently he's in the right back position. Two great touches, right spot, arms out, ready to play.
16-10. Sonurka, Jackson Heim, and that is blocked yet again by Abel DeWitt. Firebirds coming from the Phoenix area, coming with a purpose and not rolling down after losing to Seton 3-0 here just about a month ago. But that was an eternity. None of that matters. And Coach, in a regular season,
there it is.
How, and great execution by Seton on the point. Did anything as you got into the postseason, as you reflect back on your playoff teams, did any of those regular season matches, did they even factor in when you got to the postseason?
The only time I will say that it was a major factor is when a team had just one dominant player, and we had to kind of game plan for that. You know, those were teams that were a little bit easier to match up. You know, we played an Ironwood team in the playoff run, and I think in the semifinal match, he had something like 60 kills and 100+ sets. And they just used him over and over again. And so they weren't relying on anybody else. So it was one of those things of we started throwing in a triple block against those guys because of that. Because we knew where they were going to go.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things of, you know, Seton does a pretty good job of mixing it up with their middles, outside, right sides. So it's a little bit harder to game plan for that kind of stuff. But when it is a single player, I will change game plan. For the most part, I'm always focused on us. Getting better every time. Because most of these guys don't play club for Seton. I mean, we get a mix every so often. But a lot of it is just learning the game and learning each other and getting better and better. So
that's ripped across and cannot be returned by Brendan Bang. Good nail by Keppel on that outside. 18-13. Now on serve for Seton. Dominic Sierka, the junior. Dominic getting his opportunity from the service line. Sentinels 7 points away, and that one is launched long. And that a case right there, Coach. Nervous energy, got so much energy, focused, ready to rip, and just too much of a burst.
You know, I'll go on the technical side. Got a little bit too far underneath that ball. Elbow dropped a hair and just kind of sent it. Too often, again, you get excited with your legs, but the ball doesn't go as far out. So it is one of those things, like you're talking about, a little bit of that nervous energy of legs went fast, tossed in, and got it behind him too much, kind of launched it.
Owen McElvey on serve. DeWitt is there. Crayon Burma. And that is ripped and a winner by Michael Hervey. Hervey is a good athlete. He can jump out of the gym, and he's been in a lot of good positions for this Firebirds team that looks light years better than when we saw them a month ago. And you couldn't really tell, Coach, that they've only played 13 matches. They're pretty solid for only 13.
No, they are. And again, that's a matchup we have to use with our outside going against the setter. You know, there's a huge height advantage, this kind of stuff, and they're giving up a lot of that line. We got to take advantage of that.
Diego Kubisak on his way to play at Mesa Community College, and surprisingly, I'm not quite sure if Mesa's got men's volleyball. If they do, you figure he's going to walk on easily. But I'm surprised that he's not playing volleyball or getting a look at from somewhere at the collegiate level, D2, D3, NAIA.
You know, it's tough. Some of the programs want specific height and size, and you know, Diego's a little bit undersized for a lot of the bigger programs on the outside. You know, one of those things, I think, given an opportunity, I think he could play with a lot of those big boys. The hard part is being at the right place at the right time and getting that look from the guy who's just like, you know what, I'd like to take a chance on him. So hopefully he sticks with it. Hopefully he gets a look.
Diego at the service line. Firebirds off the rafters, and they can't beat it. Crayon Burma comes up empty. And the Sentinels 3 points away from taking the first set. And when you think about the first round, Coach, and the journey, I mean, first is the regular season. And the Sentinels check the boxes by winning the region title. And now it's the new season. And when you reflect on your teams and the great championship run, how did you break down the season and the playoffs?
You know, a lot of it just depended upon the guys. Every year is different. Every player is different. And it's having those relationships with each one of those guys. You know, what I tell Lucas is not the same thing I tell, you know, Brady or Jackson. Now, the biggest thing is you got the number 3 seed for a reason. Play like that. And, you know, over and over again, too often we try to do something special. It's like, no, dude, you guys are a top, legit team. And you guys just need to play the way you have been playing. You know, let's just clean it up. So, you know, for me, it's instilling more of that confidence of knowing we belong there, knowing we just get the opportunity to continue to play. Some teams are already out, and they're done. Their season is already over. And take advantage of the opportunities you guys get.
So a timeout on the floor as you see the student section. They've come, and they are ready to explode to watch this Seton team pick up its 25th win, and Firebirds are going to burn a timeout, and they're going to need a magical run to try to roll off 7 consecutive points to try to send this one into overtime per se. And for Seton, they're 1 point away. What's the message to John right now to his young men?
Score's still 0-0. You know, every point, we just got to keep fighting. Focus on just the ball that's in play. You know, do not worry about the score that we've got. You know, I actually love this opportunity of first round of, you know, playoffs, this kind of stuff. Brady's back there. Been one of our most consistent servers the entire year. Has an opportunity to finish it out. Again, I know John has said that after timeouts, the team has struggled throughout the year. So this is just a good opportunity to see, you know, are we making that progress? Are we kind of fine-tuning those little things? Like after a timeout, what does our serve look like?
And Brady serves it up, the battle up the net, and Keppel wins it. And the Sentinels take the first set 25-17. And as you kind of break down this first set, Coach, it started slowly. And your thoughts of them pulling away and winning the first set by 8 points?
I'd like to see a cleaner start for sure. You know, too many doubles, too much just kind of letting the Firebirds stay with us. I thought the Firebirds had some pretty solid blocks, and I think we need to expose that a little bit more of fast tempo on the outside, opening up some more things. hitting around that block a little bit more. I think the Firebirds got way too many touches for the level of offense that we got. I think start to finish, it was just a little bit choppy at times, but I think it's one of those I have high expectations for these guys. I think it's one of those, there's a lot of talent coming up, from 1 through 6. And again, I think they're running 8 guys today. I think they can all dominate, and I'd love to see them kind of do that from start to finish. So just kind of cleaning up our side of the game, and good props to bases. Like I said, they had some really good blocks, had some really solid digs. They haven't backed down at all. I still think they need to work on a little bit of their passing and cleaning up the offense a little bit. I don't think they had as many opportunities as they would have liked, for sure. But I always focus on what Seton does. If we can stay away from their best defender and kind of start finding some holes in that blocks, I'd be really excited for the next part.
Coach, with Seton, and this has been the case for years past, it's the physical talent's always been there. It's always whether the kids can weather the storm or find the mental toughness to grind and dig and persevere through hard moments in a match. And your thoughts about this year's team and what they're going to have to do to weather the storm in certain points, in certain situations, not just this first round, but as the rounds get bigger and better, and hopefully leads them to potentially the 3A finals.
The finals always goes down to, in the Final Four, there's always so much talent, and it comes down to matchups. And can you take away what they really want to do, and can you take advantage of where the weakness is? For the most part with these guys, it's can they stay together? Can they enjoy the process? Can they continuously get better as a unit? Every individual needs to work on their game, for sure, but it's one of those things of how does the team look every time out and every point. So, it's one of those things. I think they've still got, some work to do if they want to go after the state championship, but biggest thing right now is they've still got to take care of bases. 1 point at a time, It's not a best of 1, it's a best of 5, and they've still got a lot of work to do even tonight. I'd like to say, clean up a few of their things. But no, I think it's a good start. All right, we'll say it's a good finish. After about 13, I think we kind of handled ourselves quite well. But no, I do love what they're doing in a lot of aspects. I think they just got to continue to clean it up and keep believing in each other. I'd like a little bit more energy brought out there in this kind of stuff, but that comes with having those clean looks and those good hits. So,
and if you're the Firebirds, let's flip it over to them. You dropped the first set. You're the underdog here. If you're Coach Georgia Brooks, what's the message to your team as you face the Sentinels, the favorite, in this second set?
Cleaning up the serves. I think it's one of those things I think they need to be a little more aggressive with their serving. Like I said, defensively, I thought they were really decent. I think they just need to clean up some of the passing, but that's a lot of stuff you got to work on and practice. I have always said that games are only to showcase what you've been working on. And so a lot of stuff that they've been working on, it looks like, is phenomenal defense and some really good blocks. And let's see if they can get what we call a one and done, a bump set pass, get a good kill and stop the play there. But another good touch by our defense. There's a big block.
Jackson Heim answering the bell. And the Sentinels get the violation and take the first point.
He is an impressive blocker.
Young man who had to wait his opportunity, transferring from St. Mary's, a big body in the middle, versatile, can play the outside, playing the outside in this one with Brock at the track meet. And talk about perfect placement. And how many times, Coach, do you see a player just like that just take advantage of just the open spot on the floor and using the IQ instead of overhitting?
It was one of those things, he didn't transition fast enough back and kind of was caught off guard, but it was nice to see because the blockers have to go full up because of how high he gets and how aggressive he hits. So when he mixes it up, it's going to be near impossible to stop.
Firebirds win the point as they continue the enthusiasm on their sidelines. Going to serve as Prajian Verma. I wish I could give you more information about the Firebirds, but their stats and the roster weren't posted.
Oh,
So
hit that.
all information was right there. Owen McElvey right there in the middle, winning the point. As Robert Burns is going to check back in to serve.
I'll give a little shout out to Lucas on that play. Again, Diego with not the greatest pass. Lucas was able to go chase that down out of bounds, bring it back in, saves the entire point just because, again, his hustle, his determination, make sure that ball didn't drop.
And Burns gives it back, a 3-2 Seton lead. And for the first playoff match, Coach, when you kind of reflect, how much excitement, how much energy does the team have going into this first match? Because now it really comes down to the mountain, climbing the mountain to try to get to that finals, if possible.
You know, it's managing that. And I'll go back to every guy's a little bit different. Some guys you got to calm way down. The other guys you got to kind of pump up. You know, like, this is an amazing opportunity to play in front of more fans than we typically will get. You know, being on a Friday night, those are the best games, man. In high school sports, I think it needs to come out more often where guys volleyball, and especially playoffs on a Friday night, get to come out because there's more students, there's more parents, there's just more excitement to the game on a Friday night. And I do think the AI needs to consider that more. I think it's a great opportunity for these players to showcase what they have in front of friends and family.
A lot of people that have never been out to a volleyball match don't realize what a tremendous team sport it is. I mean, the athleticism, the players in the back row, how fearless and determined they have to be to serve, receive, and then go back the other way.
I truly do believe that indoor volleyball is the ultimate team game. I mean, you can't do anything without a teammate. There is no part of this game.
And that is rifled on that left side by Michael Hervey, who has shown his athleticism throughout this one. A 5-4 Seton lead with Sharice Prakash on serve. And it's going to go back the other way as Brendan Bang checks back in for the Firebirds. On serve, Owen McElvey. Young man who's just blossomed. A region player of the year. Fought his way from the JV ranks. And the Firebirds with a soft touch for the point.
He's back row. It's so hard for me. Yeah, it's so hard for me not to be yelling of what technical things happen. So it's still a learning process of trying to be on the sidelines more than the coach.
Owen McElvey will fire it up. And how hard is that, Coach? I mean, when you walked away from Seton and you go back, and do you still find yourself constantly analyzing every situation?
Only when asked. You know, it's one of those things that John and myself built our relationship over the years, and even the other coaches.
Larragoida wins the point in the middle.
Even the two coaches between John and myself, I'd still come in, we'd still talk, I'd give my number out, I'd still show up for camps and clinics or whatever they ask. So it is one of those things of, you know, when they want it, I'll be there for them anytime. If not, then I'll go sit on the sidelines and go be just another spectator. And is it hard? Yes. You know, there's a lot of things I'd like to go say in those kind of things. Over the years, again, I've gotten farther and farther away from the program, just taking care of my own family and my own daughter's teams and this kind of stuff. And know that, you know, John doesn't need everything I've got to say, and when he asks, I'll be there for him.
Able to win it. Off the Raptors, a timeout on the floor. So a close second set has blossomed into a 6-point Seton lead. And just kind of like the first set started a little slow and sluggish. The second set did the same, and now the Sentinels turn it on, taking the last 5 points.
I think both times it has been Owen back there serving, kind of giving us a little bit of gap and separation. I do believe Owen and Brady right now are kind of our leading point goers on the service line. And it is one of those things of right before he went back, he just looks calm and collected, like he's going to go earn the point. He's going to continue. His poise back there looks really good right now. He's got a good serve. He's mixed it up, going a little bit shorter with a little bit of deeper serve. I think that's kind of throwing him off. I think he can continue with a nice run. And again, we need a few more guys to help out with those long runs. I think we can't just rely on Brady and Owen in this match.
For Seton, and just like basis, they had a week off. And do you think that's a good thing for the AIA to give the volleyball teams a week off and then get back into the first round of the playoffs?
I always would say yes, and I say that because, again, I always felt as such an underdog because we had so few club players. It gave us a little bit of time to work on some rotations, maybe some different matchups that we weren't able to, fix one or two different things that we probably wouldn't if we had a short turnaround. So I do appreciate that from the AIA, especially on the smaller school side, because we are dealing with so many academic things and so many new players and trying to get them to learn everything we need to. I love that extra time.
And the Sentinels with their unique celebration on the sidelines, the dive on the court. And we'll see if we can possibly get that for the next point as Owen serves it up, and it'll be a side out in favor of the Firebirds. Brady steps back in, Owen will check out.
Really nice run by him.
And Brady in that back row, the defensive player of the year. Brings a spark and determination. And not to mention, he wears the Mr. Miyagi headband. And look, John, Andrew, as far as Brady Pritchard, back in the day, did John or any one of your players have anything unique about them they would do, wear, or special kind of slogan or anything before a match that would get them in the right mind frame to play?
Trying to think back, we've had some unique guys for sure. But no, he was one that came in, he wore it from basically day one, and he liked it, he just embraced it. And again, that's just part of his character. And I love the fact to just play into it. Let these guys, oh, that's a mistake.
Jackson Heim with a purpose. High and hard on that right side as we take another look. Set up beautifully. And Jackson with a big time hammer on that right side on the beautiful feed by Lucas Sonorka. Lucas on serve.
He is one player you have to know where he's at all times.
And now the Sentinels are cooking, up 16-5. And another timeout on the floor.
This is the team I kind of expected to come watch. A little bit more offensive, a few more opportunities away from the block, good service runs, just playing a little bit more clean volleyball. I think at the very beginning of the first game, they were just trying to play to the Firebirds level, and I think right now they're playing to their level, and it's nice to see.
And Coach, you kind of talk about that. When the matches get bigger and better, how important is it for Seton to come out big, energy, effort, everything, play at their level, not play down, and just be ready to go from the jump?
It's huge. It's too often you can't make up 2-3 points against a really good team. And so starting slow is just a tough place to be where you're trying to fight back. These guys are too talented to kind of play that mediocre volleyball right out the beginning. And too often, it happens in the game of just kind of nonchalant of like, we played at 25. It's like, no, like every point really matters to make sure that we're in the position that we need to be.
Sonorka on serve. Works it into Brendan Bang. Herbie blocked at the net. Herbie keeps it alive. And the miss hit by Krish Bhakta. 17-5. And the Seton fans, they've got their signs. We got boom. And one of my favorites, the holy guacamole. That is the best. And one of the fans also has that sign. As Bang worked in the middle. And that goes through the wickets of Dominic Sierka on the back row. A young man, a junior, who's going to play a factor next year on this Seton team. Fairly young Seton team. They'll lose their share of seniors, but they've got a bulk of talent coming back. Hervey on serve. Right into Brady's right there. Left side. Jackson with a vengeance. My goodness. A force either in the middle, a force on the outside, a force anywhere on the court.
He is fun to watch. You know, you talk about next year's team, this kind of stuff. The biggest things they're going to need. That's pretty. You know, leadership is one of those things. Every year you lose it, you gain it, and this kind of stuff. You know, I think Jackson's a really good spot to hopefully be one of the big leaders for next year. The setting position is always beyond important. Trying to figure out who's going to step up for Lucas after this year, and the outsides. You know, the outside position. You know, offense, defensively, just all-around captains on the court and this kind of stuff. And trying to replace some of those guys is going to be difficult, but there is a lot of talent kind of in those underclassmen, and it'd be really exciting to see what they can hold on to and continue to make into full-time starters.
So that being said, for the seniors that will be eventually departing, like Diego, Kyle Oppen, Jacob Howe, Lucas Sonerka, as you mentioned, Cole Erwiller, who such a shame that he hurt his ankle. Who knows how good this Seton team would be if Cole was playing, but that obviously opened up the door for Brady to come up strong.
So, you know, Cole's got a special place in my heart, man. Freshman year, saw him, told John to give him a chance on varsity that year, just see what he got, see what kind of mindset he had. And I've loved Cole the entire time I've seen him out here. And just unfortunate after unfortunate injuries have continued to happen. But I will say, I would have loved to see his talent on the court, but what an amazing human being. I've had several opportunities to talk to him, and I just love him as a person. And you know, he knows it's been an unfortunate year, but doesn't say much about it. Just kind of goes with it. Still here with the team, cheers them on. You know, acts kind of as a player coach, in my opinion, and has been that absolute role model for these players. Of even if you're not on the court, you can still make a difference. And I will always give mad love to Cole and how tough this year has been for him, and what amazing human being.
And we'll have an opportunity to hear from Cole Erwiller at some point after this match to get his post-game thoughts on his teammates, if they can hold on. Obviously, they won the first set convincingly, winning the second set big 21-9 as they are closing in on a second set victory and getting better as the match has gone on. And that being said, do you think Coach Guthrie part of it early on, dusting off a little rust? I mean, they haven't played since roughly April 28th when they beat ALA Ironwood on the road.
A little bit, and I also do think, you know, the new lineup just kind of throws guys for a little bit of a loop, but now, you know, they're back in rhythm. I also do think the biggest part of that start was bases played amazingly well at the beginning. Defense looked good, the blocks were there. They were doing a lot of little things right.
Set up to the outside. Hervey tries to push it over. Burns is there. Sonerka blocked by the Firebirds. Brady, Sonerka punches it over. DeWitt, left side. Blocked by Kubisak. And Diego gets another opportunity and fires it right through the wickets of Prejean Verma. 23-9, the Sentinels closing in as we see the Diego Fathead in the upper row of the stands.
That was a nice swing by Diego, turning that ball back, going more line. That's a hard ball to hit when it's coming so far from the back of the row.
Little push by Hervey, who wins that point at the net. 23-10. Sentinels closing in on a second set victory.
Love to see something out to Diego right here.
Knocked over by Sharish Prakash. And once again, it's Hervey. Young man who is not lacking athleticism whatsoever. He's shown it from the opening jump.
That was a beautiful block by them.
Prakash. Worked by Sierka. Sonurka. Diego is there as the Firebirds set it up in the middle. And they win that point on the back row.
Grady doing a lot of the little things, underneath that block. Gets it up with either shoulder or chicken wing, pushing that ball up, keeping the ball in play. Unfortunately, we just couldn't keep it on our side.
Sonurka sets it up to Diego, and Diego decides to jump over the gym.
That's what I was looking for. He wants it. He wants it late in the game. I think he's one of those guys that has to be able to put it away for us when it comes late. I would go right back to him if I had a chance.
24-12. Seton, set point. Firebirds trying to keep it alive. And there it is. Sentinels take the second set 25-12. And just like the first set, coach, they kind of labor a little bit, and then they turn it on strong.
I think the 0-1 service run was huge. I think that kind of separated them, gave them a pretty good separation. And then Firebird was trying to do too much. I think each player is trying to do more than they normally would, and it's just kind of making a lot of those little mistakes. I think Seton just kind of played their game and continued. Some amazing offense was just shown. We had some open lanes for the first time, and they are putting down some heavy balls.
So Sentinels up 2-0. Third set coming up in about 2 minutes. And Coach Guthrie, can you join us next Tuesday night if the Sentinels should advance as well?
I'm not sure about Tuesday, but we'll try to be back. I think it's Thursdays after that. For sure, I'm going to try to make it back for Thursday. There's a chance on Tuesday. It's a little bit of a long drive on occasion, but I will continue to make as many games as I can. That is Coach Andrew Guthrie, the founder of the Sentinels volleyball program, joining us as the Sentinels take a 2-0 lead over Bases Phoenix in the first round of the 3A playoffs. More to come from John J. McMahon Gym. We let a legend go and Coach Andrew Guthrie, and now we bring in the heart of the program and Cole Erwiller. And Cole, who is with this team in spirit and heart and determination. He's right by the side, providing leadership. You know he'd love to be serving and spiking with his teammates, but he is there 100% full throttle locked in. And Cole, your thoughts on the first 2 sets? A little sluggish start in that first set, but as this match has gone on, the Sentinels have really started to click.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. Especially the reason for the sluggish start, I can say, is because we played them a few weeks ago and we kind of pounded them into the ground a little bit. So we were kind of expecting to see the same team coming out here, but just like we've seen our team change and evolve and develop, they evolved and developed as well, and they came out blocking us really well, knowing exactly where we were going, and they read us perfectly. But yeah, it just took a few adjustments, and we're right back to where we started, and realizing that we can't expect to win. We just got to actually go out and do it, yeah.
And Coach Guthrie also said maybe a little bit of the lineup change might have affected the team as well. Brock is out. He's at a track meet. Of course, he's a multi-sport athlete, does it all. I call him man of, as in man of steel.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So needs to say, the lineup change, how did that affect the team early as well?
Yeah, I'd say it definitely plays a big factor, because even though Brock was somebody new we added this year, he plays such a big role with his block on the right side that we could have really used tonight with that big hitter on their team. And also Gabe has a kind of a sprained broken thumb or something like that. You'll see him with tape on his hand, and it's kind of hurting him, so he's taking a little bit off of his swing and other things like that. But he's definitely still doing his job. And also Jackson, we're having to teach him brand new positions every day. So he's really being capable and learning, and he's doing a really great job. Yeah.
It seems Jackson, no matter where you put him, he's going to excel. You can put him at libero, and all of a sudden he's going to be digging
Literally.
out everything, right?
Yeah, that's what you see. He has so much confidence in himself, and that's really what we need on the team and on the court, because it inspires other guys to actually have confidence in themselves too, knowing that they can actually play and do well.
And when we talk about the constants on this team, let's start with the man with the magical headband who I'm emulating tonight.
Yeah.
And that's Brady Pritchard in the back row, who's, what can you say, he's the Defensive Player of the Year in the region. And your thoughts on him blossoming into that role and being this leader on the team?
Yeah. So it's actually funny. I was the one, so he lives in my neighborhood. He's one of my neighbors, and I was in freshman year, and I was telling him how much I enjoyed volleyball. And during that summer before his freshman year, I started teaching him how to play. And I started peppering with him and hitting at him, and like, you're going to be a great libero one day. And it's really funny to see him come up to the program. And we go to church together. We're in the same friend group. We hang out all the time. So it's really awesome to see him blossom and grow so much, like you've said, because he started off as a freshman playing with us on varsity. So he was always been playing at a high level, but he hasn't had the opportunity to play much because we've had really good liberos as well. So he's had the opportunity to really learn and grow a lot, but he is just doing so well now, and he has so much next year as well. Yeah.
And one of the things for me about Brady that really stands out is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is his determination and how that permeates throughout the whole team.
Oh yeah, definitely. No matter if we're up or down, he always comes back to the bench after his substitution just screaming like, dude, we gotta keep pushing, always with fire and energy. You see, he's always the one cheering the loudest, always talking the loudest. He just 100%, always 100%. Like, there was a play sophomore year where he dived for a ball and went face first into the ground and slid open his eyebrow, and like, he's always 100%, blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah.
Full throttle, DEFCON 1, nonstop, and you wouldn't want to have it any other way.
And there it is.
Once again, right through the rafters up top.
Oh my gosh,
and Brady's there yet again. And that time the Firebirds get the point. And Cole, in your estimation, did the week help the team physically?
Definitely.
The week off, I should say?
Yeah. I'd say that although we call it a week off, we're still pushing it pretty hard before playoffs, because we don't know how many practices we're going to get between the next games if we do keep on winning. But I wasn't able to make it, but I've heard that, so we brought Ale in, he's back on the bench here, and Hector and some of the other guys like Nick Parada, big guy in Seton history. And we just had them scrimmaging our starters. And that helps to build the community, helps to show that we're a family, that the past generations of playoff teams that came and did really good are still helping the playoff teams today. And it really helps us just to play with the old guys we used to play with, know that that we're capable of doing really great things, and we see that it really helps, because when we play against really good competition, it makes us even better to play against the teams that we're going to play the next few days.
Did the time off as well kind of refocus the team as well? Now it's the next chapter, part of the ultimate journey, the final quest and the final stage of the season.
Yeah, I think the time off really gives a lot of the guys some time to put the whole rest of the season in perspective. Like, this is only going to go 2 or 3 more weeks at max. If we make it to the championships, which we hopefully will, that's going to be next Saturday. Like, it really puts it into perspective, especially for the seniors like Diego and Lucas and Jacob, that this is our last season together. We really got to put it all on the line and just give it 100%. But yeah, and also we learned about those lineup changes in advance too, so that was helpful to know, to practice for the week, to give guys like Gabe, look at that, to give guys like Gabe the chance to really work on those new skills, and for Jackson to start playing right side.
And Gabe
really excelling.
Wins that point at the net. Sentinels go up 6-5 with Diego on serve, and being that you beat Basis in a regular season in 3 sets, how important is it to win this one in 3 sets as well? And to continue a streak where if you run the winning streak to 11, in that 11-match winning streak, you would not have dropped 1 set.
No, yeah. I think it's really vital, not even just for the record of the team, like where they'll place us in the bracket, but it's just necessary for our morale as a team. Because if we do drop a set for this team, the guys are going to start thinking, oh, are we any less better than we were before, kind of a thing. So it really helps to really just get into the minds that we are still a really good team. We are a championship level team, and we can compete at the same level we did back then and at an even greater level now. Yeah.
And you kind of talk about something that's so important, because soon enough this team is going to be really tested. And that could come potentially Tuesday night when you got Gilbert Christian, a team you lost to, or let's say if you could advance, if things go right here to get to Tuesday and you beat Gilbert Christian, then it's only looking up. Then it could be Northwest Christian, and then it could be ALA West Foothills. And that being said, how important is it for this team to constantly believe it can get the job done and not lose faith and weather some tough points and just continue on and just continue to persevere?
I like to think of every single volleyball game starting like a snowball. It's like at the top of the hill. And if once you can push that and keep edging it and edging it and edging it over to the top, you can just push it over the hill and the ball just starts rolling. And we can see that now. Like, we pushed past the first set and now we're just killing it. We're starting off a little slow now, but in those next few games when we do make it there, it's going to be vital, because these teams want it just as bad as we do, if not more, and if we want it more. But we're both going to be pushing that snowball against one another, and the team that can push it harder is just going to be the one that comes on top every single time.
And we kind of talk about that, about everyone's going to push you harder. Well, right now the Firebirds are pushing Seton.
They definitely are.
They are leading 9-5, and Michael Hervey has been a factor on that outside, and they win another point with Chris Bhakta in the middle. And I know you and I have kind of been talking about the mental aspect of this team, and now Seton's got to call a timeout. And now you got the Firebirds fired up on their end. And your thoughts of what has kind of transpired in this third set for the Firebirds? They're not backing down, and they've shown a lot of heart. They've come out in that first set with a lot of energy and effort. Their blocking schemes are on point. Michael Hervey, number 12, has been a factor for them athletically throughout this one. And now in this third set, they've shown another level.
Yeah.
And they've shown plenty of heart to take a 10-5 lead. Your thoughts of what you've seen and what Seton has to do to try to end this in 3?
I've commonly seen this throughout my whole high school career in playing club, and it's also pretty common throughout just all of volleyball in general. But when you win the first 2 sets, the third set is always going to be the hardest, no matter what. It's just for some reason, and it does go back a lot to the mental side, because the team that's down is all stakes in. They're leaving everything on the floor, giving all their last energy, because they know if they don't win this, they're done. But then our team, they can kind of get a little bit more comfortable in their abilities, and so they can kind of start a little bit lower. But a timeout like this, even though it can kind of look like a sign of weakness, is kind of not throwing in the white flag just yet. It's just giving the team a little extra boost, saying, hey, the game's not over yet. We still got to keep in it. And I think we'll get this next point right here. Let's see.
And a battle.
Yeah,
and
it just
Jackson
helps
on that right side. And honestly, when you think about the playoffs, to potentially get pushed in this third set, and if the Sentinels can come back and win this, how good is it for the mental makeup of this team to be tested in that third set, to be down on home court, to be down by 5, and then getting pushed, and then rallying to come back and potentially win? And as we see the bench all fired up on the right side.
Just pound one straight through the floor here.
And we see the replay in that middle. A big burst of energy by Owen McElvey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just everything happens for a reason. I really do believe that. And if we need to be down to help us to learn how to keep pushing, like especially in a championship game, if learning on kind of one of the quarterfinal games right now, if we can learn how to push against adversity, it's going to help us a ton in a championship game when it's 5th set and we're down by 3 and it's coming down to the last few points. And we already know how to do that because we did it in the quarterfinals. So it can really play a big difference. And if it takes 1 set to do that, then that's great. Yeah.
Robert Burns checking in, and Robert's been so good at the service line this year. Your thoughts of what makes him so special at the service line?
It's funny because it honestly helps to have an older brother to look up to, because Ale Burns, he's been with the program for the last 4 years. He graduated, went off to play D2 volleyball. So that gave Robert the ability to just watch volleyball over and over and over growing up. And it's really cool because for being somebody so short, his serve is still so hard and powerful with such little spin, and it has such a margin to hit that gap right across the net. And his serve just always being as hard as it can, it leaves really little margin for error. So when he does get it in and when it is an ace, volleyball players see that and we're super impressed, especially being how small he is, especially for his age as a sophomore. We're really impressed, and he has extremely good things ahead of him.
14-8 as that ball falls between Keppel and Pritchard in the back row. And now the Sentinels are being pushed by this Firebirds team, and that is a great serve and a ace by Hervey on the back end. So we've seen Hervey athletically, not just on the outside, but blocking as well. Now he's showing his worth at the service line.
Yeah.
And you've been in these situations before, Cole. Give us kind of a mindset of the Firebirds, the underdog role with nothing to lose here.
Yeah. These guys are seniors too. This could be their last game. They're just leaving it all on the floor. They have the energy going right now.
And that's DeWitt. And we got a timeout on the floor.
Yep, 2 timeouts, that's it.
And the Firebirds leading 16-8 as the Sentinels will try to talk this one over. And as you mentioned, sometimes the third set is the hardest to get done. You got the confidence from winning the first 2 sets, and maybe the energy level, maybe the focus just drops a tad. And then on the other side, the team that is staring at a 2-0 deficit, they're playing for their lives. They're playing for their match 9 lives. And in this case, for the Firebirds that have only played 13 matches all year, they're playing for their season.
They are.
And not to mention, let's be honest, a team that has lost 5 of the last 7, that got smoked by Seton the first time around. They're playing for some pride here as well.
They really are. They really are. Yeah, that number 12, he's a great athlete. Like, I saw him in warm-ups, first ball he hit straight through the floor. I was like, okay, that's the guy that we got to pay attention to. And he's really giving us a run for our money. Yeah.
So Michael Hervey has been dynamic, and he's on the service line yet again. DeWitt.
And when you are such a good player like he is, even more pressure, it kind of gets relieved in this moment. When you're like, okay, I've gotten a few good kills, I've gotten a few aces, I'm finally finding my groove. The serves are only going to get harder, the hits are only going to get harder as it gets closer and closer to 25. So we definitely got to start playing our A game against them.
17-8, Kubisak. And Owen up top, and the sonic boom.
Oh yeah.
And stepping in, Isaac Collin. Isaac will go to the service line. And your thoughts of Isaac coming in at a critical juncture in this game and being counted on to deliver a good service run?
That's the really big benefit. So I'd say half of our team is pretty level-headed and pretty even keel. And Isaac is one of those guys. He comes in almost like a robot sometimes, and he's just like, I just got to do my job, just got to get it done. He'll sacrifice his body, knows what to do, he's a smart kid. So I trust him, and he has a really great serve. He hits the spots, so he's pretty much exactly what we need in this situation.
Does a nice job there as the Sentinels win the point at the net. Now 17-10 deficit, and doing a good job there, Brendan Bang. DeWitt, and DeWitt fires that, and they're going to say it was tipped off the Sentinels.
Okay.
And your referees, once again, Michael Burnquin on the stairs and Jim Van Wicklen on the floor. Brendan Bang on serve. And trying to get that quick hitter with Sinurka.
Yeah.
Burns is there. Sinurka setting it up. Back row attack. Collin.
Oh, there it is. Come on. Yeah.
And that is long. Almost looked like Prejean Verma hit it a couple times in a row, and they just missed the call. Now, Owen McElvey, who was strong in that second set with a good service run, with a good deep serve. DeWitt kept alive by the Sentinels. McElvey. Burns bangs it over. Hervey's there. They get it to DeWitt. DeWitt. And how about Bennett LaRagorta?
This is exactly where we want to be. We're fighting with the little points. We're taking advantage of their errors. We're serving hard by Owen, and we're pushing that snowball, that ball back onto their side. So hopefully we'll push it over the edge here.
Hervey's there, a little bump over. Sonurka. And that is going to be long.
Oh, there's a touch.
Bennett LaRagorta nails that long as Owen checks out and Pritchard's back in.
This is honestly the place we want to be with their #1 hitter in the back row right now and him playing defense, so hopefully he'll start looking up for us.
Left side. And that's a miss hit by Diego. And it's the Firebirds that are 5 points away from extending this to a 4 set. And now the Sentinels Nation in attendance, watching this one a little closer. And Diego fires that, and that's tipped off the hands of Prajian Verma. And Jackson Hine back in.
Here we go. Lucas should chew off a few here. He has a great serve.
Sonurka, service line. Writes it right into Hervey. DeWitt. Pritchard's there. Sonurka. Diego, and that's served out by Verma. Out of bounds. Sentinels now trailing by 6. The team is more than capable of coming back and making this run.
Oh yeah.
Sonurka on serve.
Diego's a secret weapon.
And unfortunately that is long, and Firebirds with DeWitt on serve. And now you got Michael Hervey on the front line.
Yep, this is where it starts getting dangerous.
Colin, Sonurka, right side. And that's going to be a miss hit. And the Firebirds 3 points away from extending this to a 4 set. DeWitt into Colin. Sonurka, left side. Soft touch by Jackson Hine. And Jackson elevating and dominating on that left side.
Oh yeah.
22-15 with Keppel coming in. And how did Gabe hurt his hand?
Practice, actually. I think he was blocking and just hit his hand the wrong way. That's what happened to a lot of our guys.
Hervey.
Good dig.
Little finesse touch. Hine back row.
Oh yeah.
Sentinels. Hine is there. Sonurka. Hine. And Hine with the blast on the right side. 22-16. And that gets the signs out. You got served.
Oh yeah.
Netflix and kill. And the boom. And a timeout on the floor from Firebirds head coach Georgia Brooks.
This is where you kind of can see how us making just a few errors kind of puts us a little bit farther out of the picture. But if we keep getting big kills like that, keep driving up the energy and limit the errors to as few as possible and benefit from theirs, that's where we should hopefully take this third one.
And you know, when we watch, as we see the wave.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
As the fans are trying to get the wave going.
Oh yeah. That's great. Definitely the most involved fan base we've had ever.
Well, we're trying here.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to get the wave on the bench.
Oh yeah.
Seton fans, they are into it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's Friday night and they are bringing the juice. 22-16 with Diego on serve. And Diego more than capable on the service line. Right into Hervey. And they set up Hervey on the left side.
Big block, big block.
And
there
a
it
good
is.
block. And Hervey keeps it alive. Verma's there.
Good dig.
Pritchard. Sonurka, right side. Jackson right into DeWitt. Prajian. Blocked at the net. Sunurka, right side. Jackson, big time.
Boom, baby.
Killer. 22-17. Sentinels fighting back in a big way.
That's what we need. That's what we need right there.
Diego, good serve.
Oh, yeah.
And serves it up as Brendan Bang could not handle it.
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's a 4-point deficit. A little bit of a third period, third set wake-up call, I should say. Diego right in the back row.
Come on, come on.
And that's
Oh,
blocked
yeah.
at the net. Sentinels keep alive.
Good ball.
Sunurka, Heim. And that
That's okay.
time into the net. And now it's the Firebirds that could potentially win it on serve. And Georgia Brooks going to her bench, bringing Krish Bhakta. Little sides to the front line. Prakash on serve. Sunurka. Sentinels work it back across.
Come on.
Hervey. And Hervey slicing and dicing through a couple of Sentinels.
It's a battle of the hitters right now.
Now it's match point with Suresh Prakash on serve. Worked into Diego. Keppel's there. Almost off the rafters. Pritchard from Hervey. Keppel.
Good swing.
And Abdel's there. Hervey. And Hervey and the Firebirds take the third set. 25-18. So a team with only 6 wins, a record of 6-7, ranked 14th in the state. A team showing plenty of heart. And
Yeah.
what did you see in that third set from Bases Phoenix to extend this one to a 4 set?
You do what works, and their number 12, their big hitter, that's what was working. And if you keep setting him and keep getting those points, just keep chewing him off, that's what's going to happen. We were trying to get Jackson running in those last few ones, but we just couldn't because we were too far down. But if we just keep on doing what works, try not to do anything too fancy, that's how we're going to win.
So now for the Sentinels, they're talking things through, and you've been in this huddle multiple times. What's the message from the coaching staff to the players right now?
The message is not that, wow, we made this many mistakes, we made this many mistakes. At this point, we're just trying to keep in it, and because we know that we can beat this team, we've beat them before. They're just trying to put as much confidence into our hearts and our minds because they don't want us thinking negatively about ourselves and putting ourselves down. And we'll talk about all the things we did wrong after the game, but right now they're just trying to motivate them, put a little fire in their hearts to go out and just give it all they got because we know we're better than this team.
Now on the other side for Georgia Brooks and the Firebirds. You were down 2 sets, you take the third. What's the message from Coach Brooks to her team?
Find number 12. Just give him the ball, feed him as much as possible, and also just fight like you got nothing to lose. Like, because you have pretty much nothing to lose at this point. It's just balls to the walls, as they say, and just 100%.
Look at the other playoff matchups. Sabino's at ALA West Foothills. Gilbert Classical at Scottsdale Christian. Horizon Honors at Valley Christian. ALA Ironwood at Ben Franklin.
Oh, that's a good game.
Cicero Prep, Gilbert Christian. Push Ridge at Parker. And Palo Verde Magnet was defeated by Northwest Christian by the count of 3-0.
Yeah, that's expected.
Of course, Northwest Christian, the number 2 seed, ALA West Foothills, number 1, Seton, the 3 seed, and of course, Bases Phoenix, the 14th seed. And right now, the 14th seed looking like they deserve to be a little higher than number 14.
Definitely.
And that being said, I mean, when you think back, you know, you played them almost a month ago.
Yeah.
How much different is this team now compared, because you just rifled through them the first time around. They just look more cohesive and athletically, they look in tune.
Yeah, they're just looking like a completely different team. And also we do have a few lineup changes, which plays a big factor as well, because Brock matching up against that number 12 on that side, it makes a huge difference. That consistency just shutting him down. So that's kind of where we're lacking the most, I'd say, in this game. But he's definitely fired up and really come to the occasion and really showed up.
So here we go. We're going to go into that third set.
Yep.
Right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network, joined by the unstoppable force of determination, and that is Cole Erwiller, who's joining us courtside and giving us his perspective of his team and his teammates in a first-round battle against Bases Phoenix. These squads meeting yet again. First time around, they met Seton, 1 in 3 sets, and Sentinels going for their 11th straight win, but that losing that third set, that was the first set the Sentinels have dropped in almost a month. So
yeah,
a little bit of a wake-up call as
definitely.
we go to the fourth, and Brady Pritchard on serve.
Yeah.
And Brady starts it off right into Brendan Bang, and a good start. And now we'll see if the Sentinels can raise the emotional level as they start this fourth set.
Yeah,
and Cole, that right there, when we talk about, you can talk about skill, but the emotional commitment to start a game and have it there, start that set. How big is that when you start a match or the next set after dropping a set, to have the emotional commitment collectively to get ready to play?
It's what exactly like the first bullet point we talked about in the locker room on the whiteboard. We said we got to start off early with high energy and scoring big point runs to get it out and ahead early, because we don't want to get caught in situations where we're down 8, we're down 6. Like, it's very hard to come back from those, and we saw that. But it takes a lot, and it's that first 5 to 10 points that is really the center of the game, pretty much, to see who's on top. Whoever makes the most errors, whoever lets the most balls drop, whoever gets the biggest kills, it really starts there. And it's the team that's going to put forth the most energy and effort that usually goes the farthest.
And that is blocked at the net, Owen McElvey.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The big time block against Abel DeWitt. And Robert Burns coming to serve, and Jackson Heim getting a breather. And one of my favorite signs, the holy guacamole. That is the best sign. The fan base bringing, of course, all their signs. The stands jam-packed with all kinds of Seton faithful.
Oh yeah.
Robert Burns will serve it up. Burnsy right into Hervey. Varma. Sonurka's there in that middle, and Owen with a purpose. And the Sentinels with a 3-2 lead. And how important is it, Cole, for the team to build a sizable lead and just put the hammer down and not give the Firebirds any kind of hope whatsoever?
As bad as it sounds, we really just gotta stamp our boot on them and just push them as far into the ground as we possibly can. Just kind of take all their, hope away, because that's when the game starts becoming a little bit easier. Is when they believe that they can't win and that we're the better team. Because as much as we believe it about ourselves, we have to get them to believe it as well, and that's where we start winning, just from a mental aspect there. 3-3.
Brady Pritchard. And they set it up with Burns to McElvey. Owen on that left side. And going into serve is Dominic Siorka, a junior who's going to have another year. And Cole, you've seen this young man blossom throughout the program, and your thoughts of his development in the course of time.
I have a really big piece of my heart going out to Dom, because he suffered a really big injury as well. That's why he wears that leg sleeve. He suffered some third-degree burns on his leg from a seizure incident, so he's definitely had to fight a lot from just recovering and making it onto the court, working for a varsity spot. So a big piece of my heart goes out to him. I know exactly where he's coming from, but not only just as a volleyball player, but as a person, getting to see him grow in humility and just kindness. He's always a guy on the team that talks to everyone, saying great job whether he's on the court or not. He's just a great guy. And you can see his volleyball ability is not lacking either. He's making it onto a court in a quarterfinal match. So he has a lot to show for himself, a lot to be proud of.
So the Sentinels have doubled up the Firebirds 6-3 in this fourth set. Hervey on that left side, and Hervey once again a force and gets the ball right back to the Firebirds.
Yep, they're gonna do what works. If they keep running it through him, they put up a chance. They put up a good chance.
Sharish Prakash on serve. In that middle, Owen. And no chance whatsoever for the Firebirds.
No chance.
Just owning that middle.
A really common strategy in volleyball, you'll see why we're setting the middle so much, is because we set the middle early so that we can start opening up the block for our pin hitters. So you'll see Diego and Jack start to get more kills and more open looks because we ran it through Owen so much in the beginning and they're focusing on him the most. So that's kind of the strategy it looks like we're approaching this set with, trying to get Diego the most looks. Get some big kills, up the energy a lot.
8-4. Sentinels now rolling after dropping the second set, 25-18. Hervey.
Need the block, need the block.
And Hervey. And they're going to say that was tipped off the Sentinels.
Man, we're getting unlucky today.
8-5. On serve is Emmett Unger. Firebirds.
Oh.
And Hervey once again is there. After Diego tried to keep it alive, had to come up from the back row and try to save it. Now it's 8-6. Unger on serve. And that's right through Brady. 8-7. So now it's the Firebirds on a 3-0 run. Unger on serve. And that's going to be out on the side out. Sentinels get it back.
We need to capitalize here on this air. Yeah.
Now 9-7 with Sinurka on serve, and Jackson Heim going in to solidify the front row. Sinurka so valuable, so versatile. He can set it up and also. And the Firebirds out of position.
Yep.
And leads to another point for the Sentinels. And now they're getting an explanation from Jim Van Wicklen, the floor ref. 10-7.
It's where it helps to have some more seasoned players on the team like Diego and Lucas to kind of direct players where to go, so stuff like that doesn't happen.
Hervey blocked at the net. Kept alive by DeWitt. Yeah. And a good hustle effort by Ryan Verma, but not enough. 11-7. I got to tell you, the Firebirds have gotten better throughout this match.
They have. Exponentially better. Oh, yeah. Good serve by Lucas.
Little push over. Sinurka's there. Jackson threw a couple of the wickets. Brady steps up. Diego.
Bang.
With a purpose.
Can't do anything about it.
And Diego elevating between two blockers on that front row.
You can see Diego when he gets in his stride back here, when you just know he's going to go up and bang it.
12-7. Hervey, that left side.
Good dig.
Good work by Sierka. Pushed over.
Bang.
And sometimes, Cole, it's not about power. Sometimes just about a little touch of finesse.
Always. That was always the game that I liked to play when I played outside. Smart always wins in the long run. You can only be powerful for so long.
And you see that from Jackson Heim.
Oh, yeah.
In the course of this match, he's picked a lot of good spots, whether by power or just finesse, and just pushing the ball back over and finding some holes in the rows of the Firebirds.
And it's awesome. We don't even know where you learned that from. You just started doing it, and we're like, I mean, at least you can do good out here. I mean, the grades aren't the best in the classroom, but at least we're doing good out here. So the smarts are being used.
14-7, so now things are coming in Seton's way. And what have you seen from Seton in the last several points or so?
Capitalization on the airs, I'd say, is a big thing. that we're really capitalizing on their errors, taking advantage of all the times they drop their points. Yeah.
A couple of baseball players are here. Tomorrow they got a big matchup against Gilbert Christian. Yours truly is going to be on site. And
oh, yeah?
This Seton family, how big is this campus when all the other athletes support all the other teams?
It makes it just a big family. It's so awesome to have fans out here. This is probably the biggest fan section we've had this season. Goes out to them for all their support as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Tremendous support from the baseball players on hand. Of course, big matchup tomorrow night, taking on Gilbert Christian.
Oh, yeah,
and we're going to have that right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Paulo Hutchinson and I will be traveling to that side of the universe. And Diego rips that one long, now 14-8. So
this is the sweet spot. Their big hitter's back row. We don't have to worry about him anymore except his serve. So this is where we start putting the nail in the coffin, hopefully.
Hervey. Sentinels read it well. Little push over.
Oh boy.
Kept alive. And that is blocked and kept alive by Kubicek. Jackson tries to just flip it over and go along the back row. And Georgia Brooks, the head coach of the Firebirds, she's all excited as you see her in the corner of your screen, directing traffic for her team.
Oh boy.
And now a formation error by the Sentinels.
It's pretty rare that we have them.
And Jim Van Wicklen making the call on the floor. 14-10. This one far from over.
Definitely.
Sinerka. And how about Jackson once again with the touch?
Oh yeah.
And talk about being so skilled with both hands. We've seen the hammer with the right, but he's got a lot of touch with the left.
He's really deceptive. He looks like he's going to go up and just bang it, but then his left hand sneaks in there and just tips it right off.
And maybe we can, if the Sentinels can hold out, we can get our first ever interview with Jackson High.
He might not have many words for you, but he'll be fun to talk to.
We're going to get the words out of him.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get the words out of him.
It was funny. He was walking over to the bench. I'm like, dude, why aren't you happy? You're doing so good. He's like, I don't feel anything, dude. I'm just playing. So he's going to be fun to talk to. He may not remember everything he did.
So Cole has given me the fair warning of what to expect. As Keppel with the bomb from the left side. Sentinels up 7.
Playing through injury. He's got some new shoes on tonight too.
Got the hands taped up. He's ready to go.
Oh yeah.
And what does that say about him? You know, here's a young man not at full strength.
Yeah.
But is willing to tape up his fingers and just lay it all out for the team.
He's somebody that works really hard and not a lot of people see it. From freshman year on, and he was, back when we were sophomores and freshmen, we saw him coming in for private lessons as an 8th grader with Coach John. He's somebody that's worked really hard to be here, working on his swinging, his passing, and it shows from his taped hand that it's worth more than just himself. It's for his team. It's for the brotherhood.
And you're going to talk about that. What does it say about a young man who's coming in for extra time, extra practice, extra reps, trying to get better?
Like I said, it really just shows that it's not just a single player sport. Like, this isn't badminton. This isn't tennis. Oh my God.
Jackson. Heim. Mr. Heim, if you're nasty.
Oh my God.
Big time thunder.
And look at, no, not even a smile, not even a wink out of him. He's just stone cold killer.
Well, Jackson Heim is minutes away from being interviewed for the first time in the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Electric game. We'll see if he's electric on the mic. And if he's not, no big deal.
Who cares?
It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
And the Sentinels 5 points away from taking this one.
But yeah, we all play for one another. We all stay after practice as much as we can, getting extra serve reps in, extra team lunches, whatever we can.
Cole Irwiller joining us courtside from the first round of the 3A playoffs. Sentinels And once again, Jackson Heim blowing up. Just doing things on the court. Jackson Heim, a man-sized appetite.
I got no words.
The buffet's open, and he's eating with his nose in the trough.
Oh my God.
Feasting with a purpose.
That's the nail. That's it. That's the nail in the coffin.
21-11 as Jackson Heim is just taking this third set over. Make that the fourth set.
Yeah.
Sentinels love volleyball so much they decided they want to play 4 today instead of 3. And
Three's not
Jackson stepping up in this fourth.
Just like his brother.
4 points away. And Jackson getting all kinds of love from his teammates.
He acts like it's nothing. I love it. And now he's talking about how he could do it better. Oh my gosh.
And the shoes, are they pink? Are they like fuchsia or like a pink orange?
Maybe like a salmon. Maybe like a salmon. Yeah.
There we go.
Salmon.
Well, fluorescents are big in the spring,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Abdul White. He's got a winner. He's played a good match for the Firebirds.
Oh yeah.
21-12. Not the rush album, but the fourth set here between the Firebirds and the Sentinels. Pushed over. Keppel.
Good
Sonurka. Keppel rips it right through the wickets of Hervey. And, you know, we haven't seen Michael Hervey make pretty much any mistakes in that one. That was one of few.
Yeah.
He's played a pretty flawless match for the Firebirds.
He really is. It's a really good way to go out.
Outstanding player for the Firebirds. Now the Sentinels 3 points away.
Yeah. He has nothing to dock himself about.
Burns. Brandon Bang.
Under the net.
And that's the call made by Mark Burnquin. And now the Sentinels 2 points away. Of course, we'll have bonus coverage, post-game coverage
Oh yeah.
from the Sentinels.
Oh.
Abdul White. Make that Abdul DeWitt. Sentinels keep it alive. Push over. Hervey's there. Abel DeWitt, that is. Abel DeWitt trying to set it up. And that's out. And now it's set and match point. Burnsy at the line
Oh yeah.
with the opportunity
Here it is.
to nail this one shut. Burns fires it across. Abel DeWitt. Back to DeWitt. And that's one in the middle. Sonurka and the Sentinels outlast the gritty Firebirds in 4 sets. 25-12 in the fourth.
That's how you finish the game right there.
And the Sentinels move on to a Tuesday matchup where they'll take on the winner of number 11 Cicero Prep and number 5 Gilbert Christian. And Cole, before I let you go, give us kind of your thoughts on this one and what the team can learn from this one moving forward.
The team can learn that it's not going to be an easy road to get to where we want to be, but it's kind of like the road of roses has some thorns in it, you know, that we're going to nick ourselves a little bit along the way, but it just matters that we get up and keep pushing forward, because the best teams and the ones that win championships are the ones that fall, because every team is going to fall, but they're the ones that get up the fastest and get up with the most resilience. So it shows us that, okay, maybe we're not bulletproof, but if we patch up those bullet holes fast and keep running, then we're going to be perfectly fine.
And let's take it a step further.
Yeah.
Let's just, and we're not going to take anything away from Cicero Prep whatsoever. But let's just say they could not beat Gilbert Christian, and you're going to face Gilbert Christian, a team you lost to in the regular season. Give us kind of the mindset of facing them a second time around where the lights are bigger, the stage is bigger, on home court, with all the motivation to take care of business the second time around.
to be honest, it's kind of like a movie scene moment for a team like us, where we lose such a big game like that. Like, they were supposed to be one of our biggest rivals, and we ended up losing that game. And that's going to be kind of one where we have to put on our boots, strap our belts extra tight, and just go in with our heads down. Really still focusing the most on what we're doing as a team, but really also learning what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, matching up well, and just coming ready to play with our whole lineup, hopefully.
When you reflect back on that loss, and of course that's ages ago, and none of that really matters now, but when you face them back in March, which is, you look back, it's almost like a year ago, and you lost that one in 3 sets. What came to mind, and what personnel did you have or did not have at that point?
That was actually the game that I ended up breaking my foot at. So that one was pretty personal for me as well. That was the last high school game of volleyball I'll ever get to play. So I definitely want to beat him. We were missing Lucas, our setter, Diego, our outside. We were missing Jackson. We were missing Gabe. Brady was playing outside instead of libero. We were missing pretty much our whole entire lineup. So we are a completely new team just coming into that. They haven't even, I think we've played them in tournament before and we beat them. So we kind of have a good idea of who they are going forward, and they have a pretty good idea of who we are. But it's definitely one we want to win. And that, it kind of just, yeah, we're just going to put our heads down and just do our thing.
There you go. That is Cole Erwiller, part of the Sentinels team, who's given us the quality insight. And you'll do that next Tuesday as well, right here. Am I correct?
I will. Yeah, if you'll have me.
There you go. Cole Erwiller, he's part of the post-game express here for the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Keep it locked and loaded. Post-game interviews coming up right after the Sentinels talk it through with head coach John Engelbert in the locker room. And of course, they're celebrating the first round victory in 4 sets over Bases Phoenix. Keep it locked and loaded. More to come from John J. McMahon Gym on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Well, I told Brady Pritchard last time I saw you I was going to wear the headband, and you got me a headband. So here it is. He is my Mr. Miyagi to my Danielson. Needs to say first round, you guys get it done in 4 sets. Tested a little bit by Bases Phoenix, but you guys survived in advance. Your thoughts on the first round win?
Of course, I'm happy that we won the game and that we get to move on. We did end our sweeping run with that loss in the 3rd set. We just made a lot of errors. We got a little confused. We weren't trusting each other. But I think we came back in the 4th set and we made a win.
And you kind of talk about, look, there's a little bit of a lineup change. Brock wasn't here, some interchangeable parts. Your thoughts on the lineup changes, also maybe the week off as well, maybe not clicking as first, and just trying to find yourself in the course of the lineup change and, of course, the time off as well.
Yeah, so the time off was a little difficult, you know. Having all that time off without without a game in between can really not get in your head, but it can you start to have that practice feel and you kind of start to forget what the game feel is like. And it was really nice to come out here and experience that again. That was really nice. As far as the lineup change, I'm glad we have Brock back for the next game. It was good. I think that we had a pretty good game. It wasn't bad. The switch, it worked pretty well. I will be happy to get back to normal though.
Okay, so next round you got Gilbert Christian. They defeated Cicero Prep in 4 sets tonight. First time around, look, you basically didn't have anyone playing against them. Now they're going to feel the wrath of what Seton can bring with a healthy roster. Your thoughts of getting them in the 2nd round right here and a shot at payback?
I'm really excited. We get, obviously, payback, and in our own gym, that's fantastic. It's actually kind of a tiebreaker because we played them in a tournament. We beat them in the tournament, so it's 1-1. See who wins.
Okay, and some good news for you. You were named the Defensive Player of the Year in the region.
I was.
Your thoughts on that?
I'm really excited about it. It's something that I've been wanting for a while, and I'm really appreciative they gave it to me.
And before I let you go, the headband. You rock it well. How does this sit on yours truly? Am I wearing it good?
I think it looks great on you. I think it looks great on you.
There you go. That is Brady Pritchard, the Defensive Player of the Year. The Sentinels moving on with the first round victory over Bases Phoenix. Up next Tuesday night, right here, Gilbert Christian. Keep it locked and loaded. We're going to hear from the tall, cool one for the very first time. Jackson Heim coming up on the mic on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Here with the tall, cool one, and then it's Jackson Heim who just imposed his will on that 4th set. It went 3, it extended to a 4th, and then Jackson Heim said, "No mas, I'm taking it over."
Yep.
Give us kind of your thoughts on that 4th set of just going in there, elevating, dominating, and saying, "We got this. It's time for the 2nd round."
Yeah, it was definitely in our 3rd set. I really wanted us to have more energy because I felt like we were there, but then we started becoming quiet and not have that much energy. And so I really that 3rd set, I could tell we took a timeout. The coaches were talking. I told them we need more energy. So I wanted to hit the ball hard, obviously. I was super excited to get a point, wherever it was, tooling, hitting, just whatever. And I think that once I got going in the 3rd, it's carried over to the 4th, and I just kept going harder and harder.
Yeah, you kept going harder and harder, and you led the team to the victory. You were dominant in that 4th set. And now you guys get another shot at Gilbert Christian. You did not play in that match. You only heard about the loss, and of course you played them in a tournament, and you guys won that. So this is for the tiebreaker, and the stakes are bigger and better. And your thoughts of getting them here on home court in the 2nd round on Tuesday night?
I'm really excited. Every time we get a home game, it's an unreal feeling. Just being here for playoffs, at St. Mary's, where I transferred from volleyball we lost the first round. It was a home game, but we just couldn't get it together, and we lost. And actually winning a home game and now bringing that into the second round with a team I'm pretty confident against. We were missing a lot of our star players when we lost them, but I feel like we could win. Like, I think we should 3-0 this team, like, confidently.
There you go. Talk about some confidence. And for you, you had to wait a little time in your transfer from St. Mary's. What was it like, the waiting and then getting into the system, feeling comfortable, and then finally unleashing the tall, cool one, as we all know, in Jackson High?
So actually, when I first started with this team, I connected like that. Like, it was just instantly me and the setter Lucas, we just connected like that. And then while I was sitting, it took a little time for us to get back. Like, I know our first like tournament 1,000, our first like 5 games, we could not connect at all, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. And then like once at practice we got together and we just figured out everything has been lights out from then. So I mean, it's really just, I gotta be consistent and I can't let like the nerves get to me, because I know like that's a really big problem. So I feel like if I'm just calm, collected, and kill the ball, then I know we can win.
And you know this because we've just seen it on the floor. What is it like and to feel and know and live up to the ability, knowing you can carry this team? You can carry this team to potentially a championship, but the energy and focus has got to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to like bring it to words, because it's like, I know I have to do this, and I know like I can rely on my teammates no matter what. And I feel like it's not as much of a responsibility as it might sound like, because I'm enjoying my time on the court. Every hit I get, I'm hitting harder and harder, just wanting to break through the block or break through the defender in the back row. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't feel like nervous, I guess. I mean, like when I'm starting the game, I feel nervous. But when I'm like there actually playing, it's a different feeling. Like, I feel like I'm in a completely different place, and I just want to kill the balls like as much as I can.
Before we let you go, first team all region. Congratulations, your thoughts?
I'm kind of surprised, actually. So my first season at St. Mary's, I got honorable mention. Both years, I mean, I didn't quite know what I got, but I'm probably the same thing at St. Mary's. And now, like, first team, it makes me happy that I'm continuing to improve, that I can help my team this much, and just being here with this great environment, with this lovely team, it just makes me feel good.
That is the tall, cool one, Jackson High, dominating in that 4-set. Sentinels moving on to the second round. Gilbert Christian Tuesday night right here. More to come from John J. McMahon Gym. Sentinels weather the storm with the four-set victory over Basis Phoenix here with Coach John Engelbert and Coach. A little bit of a test in the first round. A lot of different variables. Brock Steele not here. Lineup changes, the week off, but bottom line, survive and advance, you guys get it done.
Absolutely, yep. We're moving on to the next round. We told the boys early, you know, the Basis Phoenix was working harder than us. I was a little underwhelmed with our effort, especially in the first set. We started to figure things out in the second set, but that kind of lack of effort came back in the third, and it bit us. I mean, that's a decent team over there, and we let them in when they shouldn't have been. But the guys responded. It was a good test for them to see it and then go out and respond to it. See, you know, how they do in some tough times. And I'm happy with the way they at least responded in the fourth set. And like you said, we're moving on. That's all that matters.
Lucas, a solid performance, and Jackson Hine literally owned that fourth set. What did you see from him? Because he decided, you know what, I don't want to play anymore. We got to stop this right now.
Yeah, he was our spark plug in that fourth set, so to speak. I mean, we were looking for some energy. We were looking for guys to get fired up. And I guess all they really needed to see was a nice 10-foot bounce from Jackson. And actually, he did it 2 or 3 times that set. Really, we just, we needed some sort of energy, and Jackson was out there providing it for us. And so he's been a big addition to the team this last half of the season. And, I can't say enough about the work that he put in today. He's usually our middle. We had to slide him over to right side with guys missing, and he stepped right up and did his job. So we're really proud of the way he played today and also the energy that he gave us.
Yeah, Brock Steele was not here. He was at a track meet, a multi-sport athlete here at Seton Catholic. So now it's the next round. Gilbert Christian, you beat them in a tournament. You lost to them in the regular season when your lineup was basically, most of your players were out, either injured or for some other reason. Your thoughts, the third time around, lights are bigger stage right here at John Jay.
Absolutely. It's win or go home, and no matter who you're playing, that puts a lot of stake on the game. I think, I'm confident with where our guys are at, and with that matchup, I think we're going to be in a good spot. I know also that the guys really want some revenge on Gilbert Christian. Even though, we beat him in the tournament, they still took one of those regular season wins from us. Instead of being 15-2, we finished 14-3. One of those was because of Gilbert Christian, so I know the guys want a lot of revenge. I know the guys are going to be fired up for that game.
11-match win streak. Along the way, you can also say 11-match win streak, but the sets finally get broken. It's the first time you dropped a set in over roughly a month, John. And is that kind of a refocus of the team as well?
I think so. I'm certainly okay with it happening, especially early on. Guys getting a little bit of an ego check, right? Understanding that we're not just going to go out and beat every team just because we show up, but also a little bit of understanding like this is playoff volleyball. It's different. We have to go out. If we're going to go win a game, we have to end somebody else's season. So it's not as easy as just kind of showing up and getting the work done. So hopefully this is a nice wake-up call for the players to understand, just because we're up 2-0 doesn't mean the job is done, especially in playoffs. So I like that. We saw it early in the playoffs. We get through the test, we pass it, and then we move on and hopefully make some changes going forward.
Tuesday night, right here, the Sentinels will take on Gilbert Christian in the quarterfinals right here at John J. McMahon. Jim, of course, we'll have the coverage right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. For John Engelbert, Sentinels are now 25-7. They move on, survive, and advance, and that's what it's all about in the postseason. I'm Joe Pequeno. That wraps it up for Paulo Hutchison and the live stream. All the good people. Sentinels, they get it done in 4 sets. Next up, Gilbert Christian in the 3A quarterfinals Tuesday night right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network.